Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Bod Blueprint. Phil and Tyler here with you as always. Tyler, ¿cómo estás, mi amigo?
You know what? I'm doing well. I was just thinking, I got to start, like, if you're going to ask me that, I got to come with like a different language every week to say how to say good. Like, I'm going to start, doing some Duolio or whatever and just learn good
Duolingo?
though. Yeah, Duolingo and just learn good.
You learn good. You learn real
I
good.
learn good. Yeah. No, I'm doing well. I mean, I'm sure, people who have been listening to these for the last few, we're July 17th recording this one. Due date is or due time, whatever, is like at any point right now. So good, not a good chance, but there's a slight chance I might have to leave mid podcast to get to the hospital. Yes, everyone in this house is ready for baby number 2 to make its appearance. So we're hoping it'll be soon.
I'm crossing my fingers because that would be such a cool moment to be like, oh, hey, Deuce's Tyler's got to go.
Yep. No, but yeah, we're all doing well. How about you guys?
Just, churning along here, enjoying Tennessee summer right now. So nice and hot. Thank God for the little pop-up pool put up in the backyard. Kids are enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. So having an absolute blast right now. But it would make my summer just not be a blast? If I had lower back pain. And that is what today's topic is, because parents, look, you pick up your kid, and especially whenever they're younger, right? Like, you go to pick up a 2-year-old and they suddenly throw themselves back, and it's like, no, there goes my back. Or, hey, I sneezed while peeing and everything went out. Like,
yeah. Or
it's such a common thing as we get older.
Yeah. Or, you've got the newborn, and if you set them down or sit down, they wake up. So you got to stand there for an hour, rocking back and forth so they fall asleep. That I remember that one and getting ready for that again.
Yeah. So lower back pain is super, super common for parents, but the thing is, pain is not normal. Pain is a sign that usually you have a little bit of a weakness somewhere, like, hey, a little bit of muscle has maybe atrophied a little bit from a couple years of not using it too much. So what we're talking about today is what we feel are some of the best exercises for parents who do frequently find themselves dealing with lower back pain, because this is going to take away from your quality of life. This is going to start limiting the things that you can do and that you enjoy. It's going to limit what you're able to do with your kids. Like, I can't imagine having a bad lower back and being able to play soccer with Ellie, or having a bad lower back and like, I'm trying to show Jesse like, hey, here's how you throw a football. Cause like, you've got everything moves through your spine. And whenever it's such a critical point where it's pretty sensitive, you got a lot of nerves, and you're not able to do any type of rotation, you're not able to do any type of flexion, you're not able to do any type of extension, man, there's a lot of things that are on the no-no list.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, part of it too is, I don't think people are maybe scared to push it a little bit. They do like to baby it. And so, what I'll tell kind of is the low back is a muscle as well. And so we do want to lean into kind of pushing things and getting it stronger. But we are going to go through, I think, a couple of, you can call it like 2 categories, some prehab stuff that you could do on a nightly basis while you're, watching some TV that can really bring some great mobility to the spine. I find for a lot of people, working as a kinesiologist, in the past, like that is a big one, is just having a lot like mobility through your thoracic spine. So your mid back, right? A lot of people are stiff there. People maybe not realizing that, the low back is meant to round, maybe not under heavy load, but we do want to make sure that we're taking it through its full range of motion so that you are having that mobility. Plus, we're also then going to be talking about, maybe let's call them true exercises in the gym, where they can be difficult, but they're going to be some of the best things that are just going to help give you that overall strength to your low back and not just the mobility work.
Right. So essentially, we're going to explain the workouts that you probably don't want to be doing, because whenever you hear us talk about working out, it's not the stuff you're going to think of. And
Yeah.
then we're going to get into the stuff that you're probably actually thinking of and looking for. But you got to be doing the other stuff. You got to be doing the mobility, the prehab, the rehab type work. So for me, one of my absolute go-tos as like preventative. So this is before, any sort of back pain is popping up. If you're currently pain free, and if you are experiencing pain right now, you're going to hear this and go, damn, I wish I would have known this. My favorite thing to do as true prehab work, I love doing dead hangs. I will do 10 to 30-second dead hangs every single day, several times throughout the day. Just really allow that spine to decompress.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of pressure off. You just kind of, you're hanging, and you just feel that nice final solid little drop. And you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was there, but I now feel better, and I was feeling good before.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever watched like The Incredibles, in the first one where Mr. Incredible gets like pulled apart and his back snaps, that like whenever I'm like having like a tight back, I'm like, that's what I want right there.
Oh man,
But yeah,
we try
and
to mimic,
it's great. Yeah. Sorry.
we actually will try to mimic that sometimes. Like I'll lay on the bed, or Nikki will lay on the bed. The other one will just walk up and kind of like hook the feet under armpits and just lightly lean back.
Yeah.
Man, that feels marvelous.
Yeah. Just to kind of maybe build off of the dead hang, if someone, maybe doesn't have the shoulder strength or the grip strength for that, one I really like that could be a substitute is like a squat hold, right? Where you can grab like a TRX or, just grab the couch or whatever for some balance help and just sink into a squat. Let that low back just tuck right underneath you and just like let gravity do its work and like just kind of hang out there for a sec and just you kind of realize maybe like how much you kind of hold on a little bit to that back, and it kind of forces you to kind of just really let that whole area relax. So yeah, if maybe you're not progressed enough in whatever to be able to do a hold, this is a great little regression that I do all of the time. Anytime I'm a little tight in my low back from a heavy deadlift day or something, like that is one of my go-tos. Like a couple times, 30, 45 seconds. And that usually does the trick too.
No, very nice, very nice, man. I have not done that in years, and I think the next time that I pop into golds, I'm gonna use the T-Rex, as I call it.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, you see a kid squat, right? And they got like that perfect squat technique. Like, in my opinion, every adult should be able to do a squat, right? And hold it body weight and have good balance and be able to hold that. Like, I think that speaks to, a healthy amount of mobility for someone. And so if you can't necessarily do that, anybody should be working on that for just pure mobility work through your hips, through your joints and your low back. So something to just add in as a general stretch even.
Yeah. So one of my other ones that I like using, so especially whenever I am experiencing lower back pain, and you touched on this earlier with, hey, we want to work through the thoracic, we want to get a little rotation, we want to get a little bit of movement going. So one of my favorite things is I've got a wobble cushion, and for those who don't know, it's kind of like an elongated disc dome type structure. Usually they'll have little like kind of pinpoints over them. They're like rubberized. If you go on Amazon and just wobble cushion, 2 words, guarantee you're going to find exactly what I'm talking about. So I like doing that. And literally it's just sit on that, and it allows you just to kind of engage your core a little bit. But then you can start moving through. And I actually had a chiropractor where I had a couple of herniated discs, and I had a bulge disc. They were like, hey, this is what I want you doing 3 times a day, 7 days a week until I say stop. And even once you're done, do this once a day. So same thing. I do it now once a day, even whenever I'm feeling good. But whenever I do have that random, like, okay, I was on the floor and Jesse decided to Bart Simpson, jump off the couch and land on me. Yeah, the Macho Man elbow drop, whenever something like that happens. This is one of my go tos as well. So keep your feet planted firmly on the floor. You're going to sit on that wobble cushion on like a firm chair, and three different movements. One, like if you're familiar with I Dream of Jeannie, she like folds her arms over and she like nods her head to grant the commander's wish. But you want to just do exactly that, and all you're going to do is just rotate as far as you can to the left, slowly return to the middle, keep going through, rotate to the right. So genies, and you just go for like 30 seconds. Just smooth rotation, try to get just a little bit more each time.
Yeah.
It should be something that you're able to do relatively pain free. Listen to your body. Pain is not weakness leaving the body, despite what a lot of people want to say. Pain is your body saying, hey, dumbass, stop, fix me. But Genie, the other one is boxer. So literally go from Genie, go into boxer. So you're just putting your hands up, pretend you're Rocky Balboa, Mike Tyson, anyone but Logan Paul, basically, or Jake Paul. Don't be a Paul brother.
I thought it was Jake Paul. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to just
R.I.P.
keep both fists up, and all you're going to try to do is just imagine you're trying to bring your elbow and have it connect to your glute. So all you're trying to do is just slight lift up on one side, and you're just going to bend. So these boxer bends on the wobble cushion, phenomenal. And the final one is, hey, let's get a little bit of some inflection. Let's get a little bit of forward movement going. And these are called Superman. You're going to basically imagine that you're Superman ripping Clark Kent, ripping the shirt open. And then you're going to reach straight down and just slowly come back up, rip the shirt open, and repeat. You run these three things for 30 seconds a piece. It's a minute and a half. You're going to get a couple of good pops in the process. And whenever you're done, you're going to stand up and be like,
always okay, feel so good. Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are good. Speaking of pops, and we kind of talked about this in our last podcast that we did, recovery, getting on even like a foam. I got two, but just real quick, like a foam roller, getting up and down the back, especially through that T-spine, kind of getting into some of that extension, like kind of put it into that mid back and just kind of extending through can help, get you some of those pops, loosen things up. A couple for me that I really like, maybe talking about some core stability as well. I really like dead bugs, right? Where you think about a dead bug, right? So you're going to be laying on your back. The key is you keep your low back tight to the floor. So, think about if you can even, maybe put something underneath for like some proprioceptive, feedback. Or if someone, your partner or whatever, they can put their hand underneath your low back. And then the goal there is to not let that low back come off throughout this movement. So you're going to be on your back, that low back tight. You're going to have hands up in front of you. You're going to bring your legs up into like a 90 degree, right? The key here is making sure that everything kind of stays at a 90 degree, right? So when you're going through that movement, you don't want that to change. Essentially, then what you're going to be doing then is when you're keeping that core tight is you're going to go opposites, right? So right arm, left leg is going to reach out at the same time. Key is for full extension of the leg. That's what we're going for. You might have to do a little bit less depending on your level of strength. You're going to come back to that set position and then you're going to go the other side. So that can really help to stabilize, your pelvis and bring a little bit more core stability. Something I do before like every squat and deadlift day, just to kind of wake things up. And then the other one is like a quadruped reach. So now we're on all fours, knees under hips, hands under shoulders. And we want to keep, again, a neutral spine, core tight, and same idea as the dead bug. But now we're just reaching out and then back to the starting position, right? So we're doing, again, right arm, left leg, reach out. You can even pause for a second, maintaining level hips, come back and go the other way. So those can be great ones to incorporate just into like a warm up before a training day, just to kind of start to bring some stabilization, to the abdominals and the kind of the pelvis region.
No, very, very good points there. And with core, so I'm a very big fan of bird dogs. I'm also a big fan of keeping planks in as like kind of someone's warm up.
Yep.
So again, circling back into like that preventative mode, planks. Look, I will never say that a plank is the world's hardest movement to do whenever the world record is like 10 hours or something. Like,
it's crazy, but like
yeah,
30 seconds feels like 10 hours.
right. It's like, okay, you should be able to keep your core nice and tight. You should be able to hold a good, proper plank. If you can't, start trying it now before you start feeling things go out or before things get worse and you go from, okay, I could do a regular full on my toes plank for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever you can do, to, ooh, I'm having to modify it to my needs because I just don't have that core stability. I don't have that structure. So start where you're at. If you're somebody that you go to do a plank and you're like, man, I got to do this from my knees, cool. Do it from your knees for a little bit. Try to get to where you can do a few seconds on your toes. And even if you can only do 5 seconds on your toes for a plank, modify it to your knees for the remaining 25. Next time you do it, your goal should be, can I do 10 seconds in a regular plank? And then I'll do 20 seconds modified to my knees. And you keep progressing like that. Do as much of what you can do. Don't focus on what you can't do. Do as much of what you can do for as long as you can until that becomes the norm. And then start trying to elevate it. Because like when I do a plank anymore, I don't do like a static hold plank. I create instability. So what I mean by that is, all right, I'm in my plank position. I will tap my left leg out as far as I can, just toe tap, toe tap the ground.
Yeah.
Bring it back to starting position. Do the same thing with my right. Now my right hand, I'm going to reach up one time as far as I can, bring it back. Left hand, reach up as far as I can, bring it back. Right hand, reach out to the side as far as I can. Tap my fingertips on the ground. Repeat on the left side. That's one round, and I aim for 10 rounds. The first time I did that, I was on fire.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet.
But again, you start with what you can do. Like back whenever I was over 330 pounds, I probably could have done a plank on my knees for like 15 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
But if that's where you're at, your goal next time should be, hey, can I do this for 20? Then, hey, can I do this for 25? Hey, can I do this for 30? Hey, can I do this for a minute? Progress it. But if you keep planks in as something that you regularly do, you're going to create a strong core. You're going to create a strong lower back.
Yeah. It'd be, as soon as form breaks down, like as soon as you feel that low back sag, right? That's usually where it's just going to occur. That's where that set ends, right? I think just one quick key on that too is people kind of sink into their chest, man, keep those shoulders strong and like think about like pushing your mid back up, right? Like that's going to help also provide some stability to that thoracic spine as well and just make you a little bit stronger overall with that proper form too, right?
Yeah.
So
if you could hold a pencil between your shoulder blades while you're doing a plank, that's what we want to avoid. That's the exact opposite of what Tyler just said.
I mean, I know we could probably go on forever with some of these. There's so much out there. I think I've got one more, and then maybe we get into some exercises. So this is a bit of
real lifting
real stuff. Yeah. So this is like an anti-rotational one that I really enjoy having, and you can kind of modify it in so many different ways, and it's called a pal-off press. So you go like to like a cable or resistance band or something along those lines. You're going to set the cable to about belly button height, pick a weight. And again, you can kind of choose what time, like how much time you want to do. I would argue that, you probably want to start if you can at that 20 to 30 second mark. Like that should be the starting point for most people, but so you pick your weight, you're going to bring that cable handle right to you. You're going to set and you're going to press out and you're just going to hold, right? And you should not be able to let that weight come back. So we're really resisting that rotational back You bring it back in, you can rest, whatever, 10, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, back out, right? So there's that. You can go from a half kneeling position. You can do a press and rotate and then slowly bring it back to then control the rotational even a little bit more. But that is also like a really good one for just that anti-rotation of being able to, if your kid's jumping off something and you're grabbing them and you're doing this, I mean, that can be some shearing force on that low back. And then so if you can kind of have that already built in, your core is going to be kind of ready for that, and you're going to be able to engage and keep that spine from kind of just tweaking on you, and you're going to be a bit stronger there. So pal off press is another fantastic one.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move into the kind of more traditional exercises, and I'm going to go ahead and lead off with one of the ones that you mentioned, because this would also be like my number one, and that's going to be a hyperextension. So that right there, doing those, even just unweighted, again, work with the range of motion that you can if your back is actively hurting. And again, listen to your body. If your back is actively hurting, determine, do I really need to be in the gym today?
We'll go see a professional.
Am I doing more harm? Yeah. So I love the hyperextension. It's going to work your lower back. It's going to get some glute engagement. And that starts to also tie into one of my keys for, hey, how do you build a strong back? Well, usually it's not just the back itself. It's the full posterior chain running from your traps all the way down to your calves. So look at your posterior chain muscles, specifically look at your glutes. Like whenever glutes are atrophying, diminishing glute syndrome, whatever you want to call it, Miss Hank Hill ass, if you will. That is like a surefire sign that this person's probably pretty susceptible to lower back pain. They're probably running through life with a fair amount of discomfort coming in regularly. So the hyperextension, it checks off a lot of boxes for me. There are very few times where I won't be including it in my programming. There are just, usually it's just like, hey, if you're in like a garage gym or something and you don't have one, then okay. But how can we mimic that?
Yeah, you can do, it's not quite, but you can do like reverse hypers off of a bench. And, that isn't necessarily the whole posterior chain, but it does a little bit. But yeah, I think with the hyper extensions, like they really shouldn't be done under much load, if any. I mean, these are postural muscles, and so they are mainly going to be your more endurance muscle fiber types, and so they are just naturally going to need some higher rep ranges. And we do want to take it slow, right? Like this should be a slow movement, and we want to exaggerate the flexion and hyper extension of the spine. And so it's like you kind of want to just like, if this is your spine, obviously it's not straight, but like you want to basically segment it all the way down, like you're kind of curling underneath, and then you are just moving from basically that low back all the way to the top. So I almost like having, like, I'll start like this at the bottom, and as I come up, I'll like exaggerate even through my T-spine and like get a full extension. And then as I come back down, like I'm basically like hugging myself again. And so, aim for 15 plus reps at body weight. And if you can maybe do that, look at adding some 2.5 pound plates.
Or my other one is, I like a resistance band on this one.
Yep.
There are very few exercises where I'm like, hey, actual like weighted resistance of a dumbbell, a plate, going with a cable or a band. There are very few ones where I'm like, band is my go-to. This is without a doubt one of them. You just get that super long band, you put it on the band peg that's down and in front of you. What I also like is that it changes the resistance profile for where is it challenging at. So that is my go-to right there. And I'll also say, so just kind of like Tyler was saying, round your shoulders forward. Like you want to be thinking, like, I call it Hunchback of Notre Dame or Notre Dame. I don't know how it's officially pronounced. Just totally ignorant.
Yeah.
But I go full like Quasimodo, hunched over, like I'm trying to cradle a baby I'm trying to cradle a baby bird, basically. I'm going to keep you warm. I'm your mama now. Like that's what I'm going for. And try to get your feet up and wide, rotate your feet out. You're going to fully lengthen everything. Just make me want to go do them right now, actually.
I was saying I've got leg day today, so I think I'll be
You
doing
might
that.
have
So,
delivery day today.
well, yeah, it might be. Yeah, exactly.
You
So
step.
so before I jump into my, kind of my favorite, if you will, I think we should briefly talk about how to actually brace, because I don't think many people know how to like truly brace their abdominals. And this is it can take a while, I think, to really learn how to do it, right? And this is called a Valsalva maneuver. And so essentially what that is you are bringing in a bunch of air into your belly, not your chest, all right? Like, so I know people can be self-conscious because you should see your belly expand, right? And then the key here is you're not just pressing out in the front, but you're pressing out in the back too, right? So think about you're trying to squeeze a poop out, like, and that is a cue of like, this is kind of what it should feel like. And so if you do have a weightlifting belt, it doesn't do it for you. If anything, it just provides, again, some of that feedback of, am I actually pushing out in 360 degrees? And so if we're doing, and I'm going to be talking about like a Romanian deadlift, before each rep, we should be resetting that Valsalva maneuver, because that is going to provide essentially a weight belt for your low back and for your abdominals. And that's going to help you protect that spine. And then for me, like a Romanian deadlift, the tension, the constant tension that you are having on your system by doing this. And then it's something that you can get pretty damn strong in. Like I've gotten up to like doing, maybe not strong as some people, but 315, 320, 325 for sets of 10. And I mean, man, if you can do that, you're going to have a pretty damn strong low back, because of just the constant tension of the barbell. And when you are in that position, now, obviously we don't want to push the barbell too far out, because now we're just unnecessarily adding shearing stress to the spine. We want to keep it as close as we can. But if you can master that Valsalva maneuver and get strong at something like a Romanian deadlift, I don't want to say we could almost get rid of all of these other exercises we talked about, but it's going to go a long way with strengthening that low back. And then just one other little note here is, again, it's okay to be sore in the low back. Now, yes, it's tricky to know, am I sore or am I injured, especially if you're not used to it and you're used to babying it, right? But there have been plenty of times I've had a heavy Romanian day or a heavy deadlift day. The next day, my low back is sore. Go for a couple walks, keep it loose, maybe do some of the stretches we talked about, totally fine the next day. So it's okay to push it and be a little sore, right? Romanian deadlift, I think bang for your buck is pretty fantastic.
Yeah. No, Romanian is absolutely amazing. So my other one that if this will be the last one that I put in. Again, posterior chain, thinking about what moves are going to strengthen around it. For me, it's a hip thrust.
Yeah.
Hip thrust is just the thrust is the must.
Yeah.
So we want to build stronger glutes, but we want to build them properly, because a lot of people will see a hip thrust and think, oh man, that's got to kill your back. Well, as with anything, if you're doing it wrong, sure. Like
you throw your back out doing a bicep curl.
Right. Like people throw their back out picking up their kid, it's like, okay, it's a kid, or like, you pick up a case of water, like, but with the hip thrust, you want to make sure that you're actually getting glute activation. You want to make sure that you're also doing it properly. So like, hey, I love placing a band around the knees to engage the abductors a little bit more. So if you're getting the entirety of the glute, and hinge versus scoop, we could damn near do a podcast on that alone. I'll keep it short.
We need to get that extra weeds. Yeah.
Experiment. Look, I can sit here and say scoop is the king. I can sit here and say that the hinge is the king. Find what works for you. Play around with your foot placement. play around with, okay, where exactly is the bar going? But when the bar itself, like your pelvis itself is incredibly strong. If you're hurting your back doing hip thrusts, you've got a form breakdown and you're probably using way too much weight.
Yeah.
So if you're not there, start off simple, glute bridge. Just glute bridge off the floor, no weight, nothing, just bridge. Okay, once that feels good, find something that you can like do it against the edge of your couch, put your foot on the couch cushion, your butt starting off on the ground, and now whenever you're doing that glute bridge, you're getting more range of motion, you're getting more extension, and now you're going to engage more of the overall glute. Cool. Next time that you go to do it, put both feet up there, put a band around your knees so that you're pushing out against something, you're going to get more glute activation. The better that you build your glutes, and especially guys, like I know I joked earlier about the Hank Hill butt, but seriously, it's
Yeah.
going to lead to back problems for you. You're not going to be able to play sports with your kids. You're not going to be able to go hiking, go mountain climbing, go do what you want to do. You're going to start seeing things break down. So take care of your glutes, build your glutes. Like, there's a reason why I don't hear a lot of like typically moms and more of our female clients are very much about, hey, yeah, throw in a booty day, throw in two of them, throw in three of them. You don't really hear a whole lot about women going, oh yeah, I threw my back out picking up my kid. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't quite happen the same rate it does for us guys. As guys are like, nah, bro, bench press and bicep curls all day long.
Yeah,
Like,
baby.
build the glutes. Build the glutes. You'll take care of your back. It takes care of everything else.
Yeah, I've never had Steph say my booty is too big, other than when I'm trying to buy jeans or shorts. Then we run into some issues because it's a tiny waist, big booty problem. But yeah, I mean, a single leg even, right? Like just building some of that unilateral functional strength. Like again, it's kind of almost endless in kind of what you can do with it and regression and progression and
Landmine.
exactly, yeah. And I know the complaint, it's a pain in the ass to set up with a barbell. I get that. That's honestly one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of hip thrusts is because I don't like going through the setup. Smith machine. Like that cuts down a lot of the time. Really the same thing. Or a lot of commercial gyms now have the hip thrusting machine, right? So that's something, although I've never liked them, but that's something that you can easily set up as well.
You know what I really love is the gluteator. Have you seen that where it combines the hip thrust with the hip abduction? So you're essentially starting off almost like you're in an abduction machine, but then what you're doing is you're actually bringing your knees out and kind of back to create that hip extension to mimic it. The gluteator is absolutely phenomenal. And up until earlier this year, it was a one-off. You had to order direct from the manufacturer, and it was like a $3,500 piece of equipment, like by itself. If you bought it new and used, it was still usually like $3,000. Well, now they just call it a 3D hip abductor to get around the patent. But GMWD and SIDE, it's like SYEDEE.
Oh yeah,
They're both home gym equipment manufacturers, and look, we're not going to get into the ethics of like patents and all this stuff, but it is what it is. Chinese manufacturing companies have got the patents, they've got the designs, they replicate it, and now these companies are able to rebrand, rename it, and sell it. I'm not getting into all of that, but I'm saying this is a wonderful machine that you can pick up for a home gym for like $500.
Yeah, spies need work.
It doesn't take up that much space, and here's the difference of it versus a hip thrust, like the machine hip thrust, like Tyler's talking about. That machine hip thrust, you have almost like an airplane seatbelt that goes across your lap.
Yeah.
This, you're seated like you're in an office chair.
Right. Okay.
So it's just strictly your knees and your hips are moving, and you're getting that abduction and you're getting that extension. It's wonderful for the glutes. It completely takes the lower back out. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Perfect. I love it. I guess, I'll go one more and then we can call it here. I think just, again, a squat, I think we got to kind of hit on the big ones. I know we kind of didn't talk about like an actual deadlift, but I think you can kind of marry that into like a Romanian deadlift, kind of same idea. But I mean, squat, whether, a goblet squat, a heavy goblet squat, and you're trying to resist being like pulled forward and keeping an upright chest, like no matter how long you've been squat or lifting for, there's always going to like get some benefit out of that. Right. And then, I mean, your traditional back squat, right? Like, again, just loading that spine vertically, you're practicing a Valsalva maneuver, and like you are pushing heavy weight straight up. Like, again, you're not necessarily going to be able to beat something where you're getting so much in one, right? So bang for your buck, you're short on time. Thinking about those types of compound movements is going to have a lot of crossover.
100%. And I'll say this, if your spine is actively hurting and you're like, oh man, it's leg day, I'm supposed to squat, avoid spinal loading.
Leg press.
Just avoid it. Switch over to a leg press, run it for a couple of weeks, and then try to get back into the squat. Because 100%, the squat is just an absolutely phenomenal movement. If you can do it, it's a good sign that you're in good health. You have good mobility. You have good quality of life. Let's just put it that way. Because again, I've said this before. I think about stories that my uncle has told me about doing wellness checks on senior citizens. And as like a first responder, he's always bracing for, okay, somebody's not heard from their great Aunt Trudy in 3 days and she's not answering her phone. We're here, we're knocking, there's no answer. Either we're going to find someone who's passed or we're going to find someone who's stuck. And if they're stuck for a couple of days, they could be in pretty rough shape. And I think about just how heartbreaking of a moment that must be for someone of, I'm stuck on the toilet or I'm stuck in a chair and I just can't simply stand up. And what does it come down to? Being able to do the upper portion of a body weight movement like a squat.
Yeah. Exactly.
So do your squats.
Do your squats. I agree.
All right. So today I've got a would you rather.
All right.
First, here is a fun fact.
Okay.
Or a little movie quiz, because I learned this last night. So I'm double checking because I heard this last night from a buddy. And I want to make sure that this is actually correct. So what is like the first, are you like a Johnny Depp guy? Like, are you like familiar with his work at least?
I enjoy his movies.
So I didn't realize this. Do you know what the first major movie was that Johnny Depp was in?
No, I mean, I feel like when you say it, it'll probably be like, oh yeah, but not at the moment. Because I know it was probably right before Edward Scissorhands, because I think that was kind of his first coming out party, was it not?
So Edward Scissorhands was 1990. That's a good one. Okay, love Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
The first movie that he was actually in was Nightmare on Elm Street, the original 1984.
Yes. Yeah. I knew that, but yeah.
And
because it's the scene where like it comes out of the bed, right? The spoiler alert.
He's like he's wearing like the football jersey. Yeah. So I learned that, and then also kind of along that same like genre pop quiz. Did you know that the Michael Myers mask? Do you know what it is?
A hockey mask.
No, you're thinking of Jason.
Oh, I'm thinking of Jason. Yeah, Michael Myers. What do you like? Sorry, you go on.
So the Michael Myers mask is just a William Shatner Captain Kirk mask that they turned inside out.
That is awesome,
right? Like I learned that last night. I'm like, holy smokes! Like mine just absolutely blown. But
yeah,
would you rather sneeze glitter every time you're hungry?
Okay.
You burp confetti anytime somebody says your name.
Do I sneeze just once?
Yeah. We'll be humane about it. It's just a 1 for. It's not like a 3x.
Man, glitter is hard to clean up though, and I'm hungry a lot. But I feel like burping confetti would be very uncomfortable. I'm gonna go with burping confetti because I just think it's just the cleanup is easier. And hey, maybe I can get people to not say my name. But then I feel it's like it's a party trick. And just the whole party, you're just, guys, stop.
So
become a recluse.
My question would be, okay, is it like, hey, say you're like your name? Because like my name is Philip, but I go by Phil, right? Or is it just like, hey, Phil, it's interchangeable. I think I'm going to go with that for the exact same reason of like, glitter is ridiculously hard. Like, you never truly clean it up
It's
ever.
like sand gets in everything.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the confetti, but it also would probably motivate me to try to come up with like a cool nickname like T-Bone or something like that. Tank.
Yeah,
Like, be like, all right, I'm going to get one to stick. I'm going to get
yeah,
one to go.
yeah. The confetti man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that would be the workaround, is to lean into it. Hey, call me confetti.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Nowadays, like making a YouTube, TikTok, you make millions.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, with my luck, people would just call me Confetti Phil, and then I would still be like, "Great, gotta burp
Yeah,
it up." Well, thank you all for listening. As always, if there is any way that we can help you with your health and fitness journey, if you're looking for just like a quick assessment of, hey, how am I doing? Reach out, schedule a 30-minute free metabolic assessment. We also have programs available on fitbodinstitute.com. Tyler's recently dropped a wonderful new training program. Head over there and go ahead and start getting some gains.
yeah.